Oh God, oh God, oh God. So that it stays. Okay, now go back. Hello, long time no see. It's been a while, hasn't it? I took a little break. It wasn't little, it was quite long, maybe like a few months. I was getting burnt out from work and editing videos was a lot. There's a lot going on around my house too, and on top of that, I was really feeling the winter blues. But with a new season comes with good energy and new feelings and positive vibes, so here I am. Throughout that time period, even though I wasn't posting any new videos, people were commenting and just being really encouraging and saying that they liked my stuff. And I didn't think that people cared. And someone even wondered where I was all that time. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That was really a motivating factor. It's Easter Sunday today and it's my brother's birthday 2 days from now on April 6th. So I decided that I would make him a confetti cake from Dessert Person. I wanted to make this for myself on my birthday, but again, like I mentioned, the winter blues. Doesn't it look so good? It's a level 2 recipe. It's gonna take me a few hours. This cake is a vanilla base with cream cheese frosting, but also I've been obsessed with watching Korean YouTube cooking videos. One thing I've discovered was lunchbox cakes, and they're tiny cakes and they're intended to fit in a lunchbox. So that's what I'm gonna make Steven. I don't know what it is about confetti cake. I think if you ask anybody who grew up in North America, they always have some memory of something rainbow, confetti, sprinkle, funfetti. It's just vanilla with sprinkles in it and color, but I don't know, as kids we liked it so much. I still like it very much. I don't even think it's a flavor. It's definitely just a memory. It tastes good, that's what I know, and it reminds me of the Tim Hortons vanilla dip donut with sprinkles on top, also called the rainbow donut or the sprinkle donut, and Dunkaroos with the rainbow bits and the little cookies. That's really delicious. Yeah, confetti cake is gonna take a few hours to make. Also in the book, it is mentioned that we use this technique called reverse creaming. I ain't never heard of it. Basically, you're just mixing your fat and your liquids together and adding your dry ingredients. What we're gonna do is make the cake first, bake it, cool it while that's happening, also make the cream cheese frosting, and that's a step 2 recipe from the back of the book. All right, let's go. So for the confetti cake, let me show you what I've gathered. I think I've got everything. Here are some sprinkles to fold in. Apparently this is such a hot commodity and I should have known because it is Easter and so hard to find. As a last resort, I had to go to the dollar store, so I gotta figure something out with these colors. I don't have almond extract, but I do have coconut, so let's try this instead. Vanilla obvi, some baking powder, woo! Disaster. Cornstarch and AP flour. I don't have cake flour, so in the book she says for every cup add some cornstarch to it, an F ton of eggs, some buttermilk, granulated sugar, and baking powder. Of course, unsalted butter at room temp. I'm gonna need a lot of butter for this recipe. I'm gonna need 3 sticks, which is about 1.5 cups, and some neutral oil. And that's pretty much it for the cake. And now for the creme cheese, you're gonna need some cream cheese obvi. I have a vanilla bean pod here, and then some icing confectioner's sugar. What else do I need? Oh yeah, more butter. And salt, how could I forget salt? There you have it, this is everything I need. I am going to measure everything out and organize it before my kitchen turns into a disaster. stuff is ready to go. It is almost time to start baking. I just want to talk about special tools. You're gonna need a stand mixer, which you've never seen me pull out before. And the recipe calls for, like I mentioned, 3 9-inch cake pans, but I'm gonna be using a large sheet here, which is a 13 by 18 inch. Okay, so I was reading through the book and she mentions that your stand mixer should be at least a 5-quart capacity, and mine is just shy of half a quart, and this is only 4.5, so I'm gonna be mixing my recipe. So first I'm going to be adding in my flour and cornstarch mixture, but just half. And then some sugar here, some salt, my baking powder. Where's my baking soda? Oh, here we go. We're gonna give it a little stir. Okay, it's doing its thing. Okay, so while that's happening, I'm going to add in some buttermilk and oil. There's some oil. So we're gonna beat this on low until the flour is moist. Stand mixer is beating the dry ingredients and the fats together. So now what we're going to do is just mix the eggs and the vanilla here and the almond extract or coconut like I'm using until there are no streaks remaining. Okay, I'm gonna add my eggs in and then keep beating on medium-low. I finished mixing the first part of my batter and I put it into a separate bowl here. And now it's time to do the second part of my batter, and then I'm gonna combine it all in one. Time for the fun part. This batter here you can see is thick and it's fluffy. This is the 2 parts mixed together. So what I did was I took part 1 and then I added it to part 2 in increments and then just like did a slow mix, I guess, on the paddle attachment, just so it's well incorporated, because I think my first batch was a little dry because I didn't add enough fat and butter. So adding it back in and then mixing it all together after most parts have been incorporated, I think, in my brain at least, it ensures that it's evenly distributed and the texture that it's supposed to be. So let's add the sprinkles. Here are my dollar store sprinkles. Yeah, ready for the pan. Adding in my cake batter to my 8 by 13 pan here. I'm gonna use my offset spatula here to smooth out this cake layer because it's very thick. And then it's gonna go in the oven at 350 for about 40 minutes until it's golden brown on top and springy. And obviously you're gonna do the toothpick test. Okay, my cake is going in here for about 40 minutes at 350. So cute. See you when I see ya. So like I mentioned, I don't have 3 9-inch cake pans and the store sold out of all of their 4-inch rings. So I have to improvise. I have this clear container here and it's clean. What I'm gonna be doing is just getting a pair of scissors and cutting this part here so I could use it to get my cake segments out. Okay, see, we ain't just baking out here, we're doing arts and crafts too. How beautiful. Look at my cake, it just came out of the oven. It is nice and golden, springy to the touch, and I just did the toothpick test with my takoyaki tool here, and the batter is not sticking to the stick, so nice and clean. I'm gonna let this cool completely. I'm really happy with how this came out. It looks nice and clean and nice and even. Perfect color, perfect texture, and the sprinkles make it look extra cute too. Okay, so next order of business, you see my cake here, it is cooling. We're gonna be making the frosting, which is going to be basically a pound of cream cheese at room temp, and then unsalted butter. Here we go, here we go. Here's my cream cheese and butter mixture. It's well combined, so the next step is to add my powdered sugar here. It is going to definitely fly away and like do this fine sugar powder thing and get it all over my kitchen. Cover this, lock it, and then mix. Oh my god, see it's coming out from the side. Okay, I made a mess, but it looks nice though. Look at it. I'm gonna mix it some more and then add in my vanilla. Silkiest cream cheese frosting, or any frosting I have ever made. Look how rich and luxurious it looks. Here goes the vanilla. There you go. I just transferred my cake onto a wire rack and look at that. How nice. This is the cake that came out of the 13 by 18 inch pan, and look how beautiful it is. I just actually peeled off the parchment paper from the back as you saw, and it has cooled down like 80%. So what I'm gonna be doing now is taking this and making my stacks of my cake. What I like about using this though too, or this size at least, is that I can probably make about 3 cakes and then use the scraps for something like snacking. One. Whew. Look at that. That's one. How exciting. I think maybe I can make many more cakes, because if this is 2 layers, I could just do this. Like, that's already high enough. That's about like 4 or 5 inches right there. This is the aftermath. Here's my pan. This is everything that I can eat, I guess. And then this is all my layers to make the cake. I think I can do 2 layers per cake. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9 here. So maybe I'll do 3s or 2s, but this is looking pretty good. This was a really good idea and I'm happy I went through with it. I didn't spend a single dollar, and I actually got out of it nice, even stacks of cake. So I can't wait to put this all together. Here I am, me again, not willing to pay for extra shit. So I have this cake thing here, 8 inches, and I just wrap it in saran wrap because, you know, I like to reuse. And I don't have a lazy Susan to, you know, do the nice fancy spinny things that you see cake decorators do, but I have this lazy Susan that you probably recognize from my condiments here with like my salt, pepper, olive oil, blah, blah, blah. So I took all that off, cleaned this, and that's what I'll be using. It works, right? So whatever. Say what you will, my plastic container worked and I'm on a roll today, so let's go. Picking 2 layers here. I think this one looks nice, and spread it all around. Oh, look at me. Look at my lazy Susan. Wait, this is sliding all over the place. Time to improvise. I think I should have placed a little bit of icing on here. Woo. Oh God, oh God, oh God. So that it stays. Okay, now go back. Oh. No! There we go. Okay, so this is what the crumb coat looks like so far. It's not the prettiest, but I'm gonna put it in the fridge for like 10 to 15 minutes, and hopefully the icing will harden up and make it easier for me. Here are my ugly cakes cooling in the fridge with the crumb coat on it. I don't know what is happening here or there, but hopefully maybe I could salvage it when I take it out. I've done a really thin crumb coat and then I put it in the fridge for 10 to 15 minutes, and my layers were melting on top of each other. So I don't even know how it's gonna look like once I cut inside of it. But because of that, I was having a lot of trouble. I decided to put it in the fridge for 10 to 15 minutes, let the icing harden a little, and then go on with like another, I guess you could say, another crumb coat to make it look nicer. And this is what it looks like so far. See, it doesn't look that disastrous anymore. And then I'm gonna do a final coat. I didn't do the best job icing it. I found that to be really difficult, and I had a lot of trouble doing that. And so that's what it looks like with sprinkles on top. This is the ugly one. I actually have a better looking one in the fridge. So what I would have to say about this confetti cake in particular is that it does say it takes 2.5 hours to make. I spent so much time doing this. It's like 6 o'clock right now. I was up since 11 baking. I don't know what took me so long to do everything, but yeah, this is where I got to. The most challenging part about making this recipe was icing the cake, and that's because the cream cheese frosting, the CC frosting, is so silky that, you know, it just oozes out everywhere. So the oozing, as you can see, was happening. Maybe it's even happening here, I don't know, but I'm gonna leave it as is. So yeah, if you wanna make it, I would suggest making it into cupcakes. So the recipe yields actually 3 cupcake pans. So you'd make 36 cupcakes. If you're much better at icing cakes than I am, then I would go ahead and make the 3 layered cake with the 9-inch pans. But yeah, overall, this was super fun. I'm glad I went with the Korean mini lunchbox cake route, because I think if it was a bigger cake, I would even have a bigger challenge putting it all together. And this is a level 2 recipe, guys, so yeah. Moment of truth. Woo! What? Where's the confetti? Okay, this is a joke. I cut through my cake and there's literally no sprinkles in here. What the heck? It's a confetti-less cake. Other slices I'm so sure will have sprinkles, so chill, don't you worry. Here's what my cake looks like. I'm gonna do a taste test, but before we do that, I didn't do an awesome job icing, you see. There was a thick layer of icing here, but when I sandwiched this guy on top of this guy, it just oozed out from the side, so I'm not an expert. It's all about taste, right? I hope my brother's turns out better. That's in the fridge right now. In hindsight, now that I've made this, I wish I had the cake flour. I don't know what it is. When the cake first came out of the oven, it was nice and fluffy, but now that I'm eating it, it is quite dense. And I don't know what I did, but learn from me. Use cake flour. Taste is good. The cake is a vanilla cake. I could have done a better job at folding in my sprinkles and make sure next time that you have an ample amount. I would make this into a cupcake if you're not good at icing a cake, and you get more cream cheese icing on top. I will also say that what makes this cake and the star of the show is the CC icing. That stuff hits. The little touch of salt in there, like I mentioned, really puts this cake together. Who knows? Maybe your cake will turn out better than mine, but it was all good fun. I told you this cake would look so much better than the one I ate earlier and showed you guys. This is the one that I made for my brother. Look at the sprinkles on that and the icing job. A lot better, right? Huge improvement. So yeah, I can't cut into it obviously because it ain't my birthday and it's for him. Really happy with how this turned out. It's really cute. This recipe was really easy to make, but apparently I'm challenged with icing cakes and I take a really long time to do things, but overall I had a lot of fun making this into a Korean lunchbox style kind of cake. As you can see, it's the size of my hand. This confetti cake, Claire Saffitz Dessert Person recipe, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 because it was easy to make. The cream cheese frosting is really good, and that's just my personal preference and maybe my own mistakes that contributed to that rating. We're also gonna call it from now on CC icing. It's not my favorite dessert person recipe, but it was definitely the cutest, right? I had a lot of fun doing this video. I haven't done a video in a really long time. Again, thank you so much for bringing me back into this and motivating me. It was a lot of fun. So until next time, thank you so much. Look at how cute this cake is that I made for my brother. I don't even want to give it to him. But happy birthday to me.